He's been an award-winning media personality and producer. As a speaker, he's empowered over 1 million people from the stage. Now one of the leading business coaches and brand experts is taking over the world of on-demand audio. It's the Business Bully Podcast. Now here's the business bully himself, Dave Anderson.
All right, people, what up? It is yours truly, Dave Anderson. Hope all is well in your world. Listen, I know I've been gone for a long-ass time. I've been tearing these streets up, but I'm about to hit you with what I like to call bombardment. You're going to be hit with so much fucking content. You're going to be Dave Anderson overloaded. You're going to be bullied the hell out. And so what I'm going to do is hit you with a bunch of interviews and talks and just podcast episodes that I've been sitting on for a minute. But no more, people. It is time to get it popping. So without any further ado, let's get this thing going, man. All right. As always, get in where you fit in. Hit me up with your feedback, dave@businessbullyshow.com. We are accepting new client applications. If you'd like to get down and get this work up close and personal with me and my team, go to bit.ly/bully call, bit.ly/bully call. And before we get to the show, the Business Bully Podcast is being brought to you by Audible. With over 180,000 titles to choose from, you have something for your mind, your spirit, and your business. Go to audibletrial.com/bully for your free 30-day trial and audiobook download. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for you. Let's get it popping, people. Woo!
May I present?
It's time for another Business Bully exclusive interview.
All right, people, we are making it happen right now. I'm very, very, very excited. My guest at this time is an amazing individual. Monica Rivera is from NYC. She's got a podcast. It's called You Want to Do What? She's one of my favorite people. She just lives life on her own terms. Like, this chick's got more stamps in her passport than Santa Claus got in a night, man. Like, she just goes. I don't know if she's gonna be in Mount Kilimanjaro one day, like climbing outside of a volcano. You know what I'm saying? For some reason, though, as wonderful as she is, she's a fucking Patriots fan. Like, this is as bad as me talking to Gary Vaynerchuk. Like, I don't think y'all understand. I fucking hate the Patriots, and I fucking hate the Jets, and I fucking hate them. But you have to know that she's extraordinary from actually taking the time to talk to a fucking Patriots fan. Oh my gosh. I mean, because, oh wait, I know what we did to the Patriots. Never mind. We good. So the thing about it is, like, to know Monica is to love life. And when you are taking life by the horns and doing whatever it is that you have to do in order to make sure that you are both working hard and playing hard, and not in a balanced way, but in a way that shows that life is for the living and it's for the now, and I think that that's what's great about You Want to Do What, because not only is it self-effacing, it's a podcast that shows you you're ugly. And it shows you you're ugly through Monica's lens, because she's not the type of individual who is afraid to express herself and talk about what she's learning, what things that she used to think that she no longer thinks because she's been exposed to something. And that's rare. A lot of us don't have that ability to do, self-audits and self-assessments, and she does. She's arguably, in the short time I've known her, one of my favorite podcasters and arguably one of my favorite people. So without any further ado, the amazing, incomparable Monica Rivera.
Well, that is quite the introduction. Thank you very much for that. Although I do have to say, what we did to you the first time is probably part of the reason why you don't like the Patriots. So if you're gonna throw shots, I have to throw them back a little bit.
That's okay. You're really good at deflating balls, just like the Patriots. I got it.
There's no scientific evidence to prove that, but you Philly fans keep believing what you want to believe.
I'm just saying, there's a kid who's out of a job, and you're flipping sour grapes quarterback. Still has his. I'm just saying.
Sour grapes quarterback? You mean?
Oh, you didn't see the end of the Super Bowl when he had that boo-boo face?
Didn't you guys have the boo-boo face? Like, I know Donovan McNabb had it when he was throwing up in the huddle during the Super Bowl.
Wow. How long ago was that? 2004? You got to go back 14 years? Ooh.
But we don't forget championships. That's the thing.
Oh, is that what it is? You won't forget this one now, will you?
No, I don't. I take the L, though. I do. Just like I am living in New York, I'm a Patriots fan, and I have to listen to Giants fans every single day talk that talk. But I can't say anything about it because they beat us twice.
It's okay. I'm going to move forward. Because I do hate the fucking Giants, too. My brother-in-law's brother, he's a Giants fan. And my brother-in-law's a Redskins fan, so, you know, they were talking all types of shit. And I said, the Eagles are going to win the Super Bowl. And they laughed. Now they don't even talk to me. They don't even answer my phone. Because they already know. I'm not calling to say hello. This isn't, you know, pleasantries. This isn't a familial check-in. It's me talking shit. So let's talk a little bit about your background. Let's talk about your life. Like, what's going on? How did you get to this point? What inspires you to do your podcast? And why do you have such a fervor for life right now?
Sure. So I'm born and raised in the Bronx. I'm first generation Latina. Dad was born in Puerto Rico. Mom was born in Cuba. And I was told, living through the lens of people that have come to this country, you get yourself a job and you keep the job. So it wasn't about following your bliss. And when I was younger, I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to be in music. And all of those things were kind of shut down because they were creative pursuits. And when you come to this country, you don't think that that's a realistic option for you. And so that's what I did. I just kind of followed the money. I worked the corporate ladder. I got internships when I was in college, kind of did everything that you're quote unquote supposed to do. And then about 4.5, 5 years ago, I started to feel like, wow, what am I doing? Is this all there is for me? And it started to feel like clothes no longer fit. Right? So you wear that coat and at first you're looking fly and then the coat's a little snug and you put it on again. You're like, yo, this isn't for me anymore. And that's what I felt about the job that I had. And the problem was that everyone keeps telling you, find one passion. Once you find the one passion, you just stick with it and you're golden. But as you said in the introduction, I love a lot of different things. I'm a curious person. I dive into learning a lot. So when you tell someone like me, just find one thing, that's hard to do because then I started to feel like, well, what's wrong with me? Everybody knows their one thing, but I can't figure it out. And one day I decided, you know what? I love podcasting. I've listened to podcasts for 10 years. I'm going to buy a microphone. And so what did I do with it, Dave? Nothing. I let it sit there on the desk. I didn't do anything with it. And then a year ago, I said, you know what? I'm going to just talk into the mic and I'm going to see what I have to say because there has to be other people like me working a job day in, day out, doing the same thing that are feeling stuck and like they want to do more. And that's how the show was born.
What surprises you about yourself as you're going through this experience?
Definitely how much I've shared. So it's funny. A funny thing happens when you sit behind a microphone by yourself in a room. You start talking to yourself at first. And then you don't really realize how much you're saying until after it's all said and done. So, of course, I structure my shows and I know what I want to talk about. But specifically, if you listen to the first half of the catalog, it was solo episodes. And that was intentional. I needed to feel comfortable behind the mic. I'd only been in a corporate job. This was all new to me. So I have these solo episodes where I revealed a lot about myself. But I thought this is the only way I know how to be if I'm going to be doing this in this space in an authentic way. So when you talk about being messy and kind of talking about the sides that don't look so good, that's probably surprised me the most. But I think it's what helps me resonate with listeners also, because I'm not coming to them like, look at me, my life is amazing, you should be just like this. It's like, no, I go through messes, I make mistakes, but this is where I am now. So if you want to come with me on this journey, then let's rock.
Yeah, because I tell people all the time, like, please don't come at me with that guru shit. You know what I mean? Like this whole, hi, I've got a Lamborghini. Hi, I've got a big old mansion. Like, bitch, you rented that shit from Enterprise. You got that fucking house from Airbnb. Get the fuck out of here.
Exactly.
Like, that's just nuts to me. And I'm like, why people fall for that, I'll never know. But I'll be like, look, man, sometimes I take a L. Sometimes it's hard when you got net 30 invoices coming out. You know what I'm saying? And they ain't come in yet.
100%. Yeah, but people get caught up in the facade, and we live in an Instagram world, and all of that is cool, but we also have to understand that it's all curated. So you have to look at your feed with a grain of salt. What you're seeing is something that people have carefully selected for you to see. So if you go in sort of keeping that in mind, then you'll be straight.
Damn, she said they carefully selected that shit. Damn. She said y'all cherry picking your grams.
I think we all know that that's true. I've taken more than one selfie before I actually posted it on the gram, and I'm pretty sure you have too.
No, not really. I take the selfie and I go about my business because, I mean, this is always ready. I'll tell you that right now. But no, in all seriousness, I like, especially women, y'all be taking like 800,973 selfies and shit, and then just put one up. And then, you know what I mean, y'all got all these damn apps to alter your body and then get your lighting right. I'm like, is it that deep? Is it that deep? And then I'm like, yeah, it's that deep because y'all, I'm not camera ready. But I ain't going to shit nobody's Cheerios. I'm just going to say what it is. So who has been your favorite guest so far?
I interviewed this guy named John Coyle. So he is an Olympic medalist. He is a design thinking expert. But what really got me is that he studies time and actually studies how as we get older, we start to feel like time is speeding up. And he tells a story about when we're kids, summers feel really long. But when we're adults, it feels like summer goes by in the blink of an eye. And there's an actual reason behind it. And it's because as we get older, we stop learning. We stop creating new memories. We become very routine. So, of course, he's my favorite guest because that speaks exactly to what my show is doing, which is telling people, break out of your routine, do something new, try a new thing, go to a new place, try a new restaurant. It doesn't even have to be something so deep and so serious. But talking to that guest was in alignment with my message, and he was really fascinating.
Word. I think, it's important, man. And sometimes, especially when you're a creative type of person or you're a person that has multiple passionalities, as I like to call it. I have what I call MPD, multiple passionality disorder. Because like people are like, wait. You've done radio, you've done TV, you've done records, you sing backgrounds for people, you've been a professional wrestler, you've been an author, you're a speaker. Like, what haven't you done? I'm like, I never got to NASA. Like,
not yet.
Not yet. Yeah, I mean, listen, I'm in the gym. I got two more things on my bucket list. One, to go to space, and secondly, to play Clubber Lang Jr. in Creed 3.
Okay. Both doable, both attainable.
Yeah, I feel like it can happen. Yeah, I mean, I feel like it can happen. I remember, 5 years ago, I went to Walmart, and the Black Panther DVD, like the cartoon Black Panther DVD, was in the $5 bin. Now, you can't get the shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it only takes a shift. One little shift, and then all of a sudden, everybody loses their minds. And so I figure if I drop a good 75 pounds, I can get in the Clubber Lang Jr. shape. Yeah, I mean, and just bust Michael B. Jordan in the mouth one good time. I feel like it's possible, But I don't put those limits on myself because I didn't know what limits were. And, I think that that's important. What is it that you want out of life that you haven't gotten yet?
Well, I just want to say it's interesting when you say that you didn't know what limits were. That's something that I think is fantastic that you felt that way. I think for me, that's something I had to teach myself. And I taught myself through a lot of people saying no to things. So I remember when I was young, I would tell people, I'm going to travel to this place. And the first answer would be like, why? Or I was very big into volunteering, and I still am. And people would say, why do you volunteer? And I thought, why don't you volunteer? Like, it's such a weird question to ask someone who's volunteering. Right. Why are you spending your time doing this? And so for me, I had to teach myself that I didn't have limits because where I grew up, and I don't think it's intentional, but I think it's a mindset, people see limits wherever they go. And I always knew, I'm going to test these limits because I don't really see myself fitting in just this one box. And so that's what I did. I pushed out a wall. I pushed out a door until eventually I gave myself the space to be who I was. So I think it's great that you didn't have the limits, but I think that anybody can teach themselves to break out of their own limits because a lot of them are really self-imposed. But to answer your question about something that I want to do, I would love to be location independent. That's really kind of the dream for me. I love to travel. And as an example, one of the places I've always wanted to visit is Australia. I don't really know why that's such a big thing for me, but I know I want to go there and spend at least 6 months there. It's the other side of the world. It's an entire continent. I want to see it. I want to see the nature. I want to see the cities. I want to see all of it. So part of my plan is to design a life where I can work from anywhere so that I can see these places that I've read about and that I want to experience and fully experience them. I don't want to fly to the other side of the world, 24-hour flight, so I could only be there for a week. I want to really enjoy it.
Yeah, that makes sense. Not to mention, it's going to freak you out when the toilet goes the other way. Let's see here. Maybe like, and sometimes I call it the genetic pull. It could be that you got some Aborigine in your DNA.
It might be.
What I'm saying? Like,
you never know.
Like I never understood, why I had such an affinity for like spicy foods and curry and all that good stuff until I found out that my great-great-grandfather was a man named William Grant, whose original name was Sanjay Patel. And he came to this country from India, and he built himself a business. He was an entrepreneur. And so I'm like, oh, so this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got immigrants in my family and slaves. It's like, oh, damn, this is dope. You know what I'm saying? But like, now I know, like, this is why I like, this is why I've always loved, Indian food and spicy food and stuff like that. Like, now I get it. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So maybe you have a genetic pull. Who knows?
I would love to find out. So when I get there, I'm going to reach out to you again. We'll do another show on video where I'll be in Australia.
Oh, shit, yeah. Hell yeah. What's up, man? Make sure I adjust the camera so it turns upside down. Is that right? I don't know. Finish this sentence for me. People will be shocked about this if they knew that I'm
thinking if I should say the first thing that popped into my head.
Always go with the first one.
I'm more sensitive than you would think, but I'm tougher than I look.
I never really pegged you for sensitive. You've always come across to me as very, very bold. But then again, bold people kind of hide out in the open. I can dig that because I'm sensitive.
Yeah, so I would say that. So I think that, when you first meet me, everyone says, oh, she's so nice and she's so sweet. And I am, but I'm not always nice and sweet. Like, there's other sides. So people are multidimensional. And I'm from the Bronx, and there's the Bronx side of me that comes out and needs to come out. But then there's also the sensitive side where other people can say, like, oh, you always appear to have everything together and everything's perfect and gravy. But no, there's a sensitive component to it as well. And I think especially in this podcasting game or anytime you're starting a business, a lot of those pieces of you will be tested, and you have to figure out what's working for you, what's not working for you, and can you stand those tests? Mm-hmm. And this has been a really eye-opening experience for me, but I've also learned that I can stand the test.
Hey, man. Like the song says, storms will come. This we know for sure, but can you stand the rain? Shouts to Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, and Mike.
And Johnny, though. You got to give it to Johnny. He's still on that tour. He's still on that tour with them.
Yeah, I'm just not here for Johnny. I'm going to tell you why I'm not here for Johnny. Like, I can't even, how the fuck did we get to Johnny Gill? But okay, I'm not here for Johnny Gill because, like, Johnny Gill for me, it's complicated. But I'm going to say this, right? To me, New Edition is Ronnie, Bobby, Ricky, Mike, and Ralph. Period. Mm-hmm. Johnny, it's like he's there, and Johnny Gill was kind of wackadoo until he got into Audition. Then his shit started popping.
You crazy?
I'm not crazy. Everything before New Edition that Johnny Gill had was crap, except for the stuff with his ex-girlfriend Stacey Lattisaw. Other than that, wasn't nobody checking for Johnny. After he got with New Edition, that's when you got When You Feel the Magic in My Hands, and come on, man, don't get me started. Yeah, all that stuff came after New Edition. And then when you compare, like, Bobby is still Bobby. Like, even though Bobby's voice is shot to shit, when he's on that it's Bobby. Like, it's like, hey, that's Johnny Gill.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I have to argue that if Johnny hadn't come in, New Edition would have been gone a long time ago.
And they should have been. They should, because God knows Bobby Brown. Like here's the thing: everybody appreciates the nice guys, and I kind of feel like I'm the Bobby Brown of damn near anything I do, because I'm the dude who's like, I'm not going to wear this corny hokey Disney bop shit. I'm going to rock and roll with this. Like, I'm going to put on the gangster shit. I'm going to talk my shit. I'm going to be bold. I'm going to tell you, you're going to get this work. I'm going to break the fourth wall in the middle of my presentation and freestyle. Bobby is that dude. And like, I respect that more than anything. Johnny is he's the tofu of R&B. He just fits in wherever he is. Bobby Brown was the innovator. Before Bobby, like, you didn't have people, like, there wasn't a whole bunch of R&B rappers. Like, there would be no Drake without Bobby Brown. You know what I'm saying? There'd be no CeeLo. There would be no Missy Elliott. All that stuff you can trace back to Bobby. What do you trace back to Johnny?
Okay, I don't disagree on Bobby because, first of all, my favorite subgenre is New Jack Swing, right?
Amen.
So I love Bobby and everything that he brought to the table. I'm just saying I can also love Johnny and what he brought from a pure R&B sense. I'm an R&B head, so I don't discount Johnny's efforts, and I can still rock with Bobby. That's all I'm saying.
Oh, okay. You want them fence riders? To me,
No, not at all. Just give me something where I can choose a side. On this one, I'm calling it the way I see it.
Listen, if you trying to tell me if you want to desert, this is where I gotta call bullshit. You know what I want to do? I want the host of You Want to Do What to admit that Bobby's better. Because if you were on a deserted island and you had one album to choose and you only could choose between Johnny Gill's self-titled album and Bobby Brown's Don't Be Cruel album, you're taking Don't Be Cruel all day. You want to know why? It's got bangers.
Of course. Yeah, I would for sure take it. But Bobby, at this iteration, has completely ruined everything. If I'm just going to listen to the CD, yeah, I'm going to listen to the old Bobby stuff. But if I'm going to go see them on a old school 90s tour, I'm going to take Johnny because I want to make somebody count.
Look, I don't know if you see Bobby lately, but Bobby's lost weight. He looks good. You know, but his voice is shot to shit. I'm just so...
I don't care if Bobby comes out there 475 pounds as long as he can sing. He could be $120 or he could be 475.
You're savage.
They hit the notes. That's it.
You're a savage. You're a savage. I can't believe you right. I said you can't. He's $125 or 475. Sing, bitch. Damn.
That's all I want.
Right. So what's the song in your heart right now?
Oh my gosh, I love music. There's so many songs. All right, it's hard to pick a single song, but I will say that when people tell me that R&B is dead, I tell them that they're not looking for R&B then. I think there's amazing artists that are out there right now. So like I rock heavy with the Her album. So H.E.R. I don't know why she spells it like that, but I'm gonna let her cook. She's only 20 years old. She makes incredible R&B music. I listen to that album probably 4 times a week. So right now I'm definitely on my R&B wave.
I ain't mad at that. What is your favorite thing to do when no one's looking?
Sing and dance.
Oh, we singing?
No, we're not singing because you said what I do by myself. That's what I do when I'm by myself.
But technically, I'm not looking.
So I'll tell you this. So in the beginning, I told you I used to want to be in music. So when I was young, I wanted to be a singer. And I, of course, love Whitney Houston. That was my girl. And so I go and I sing Greatest Love of All. And I tell my mom, this is what I'm going to sing for the talent show. So you tell me how it sounds. So, okay, stand up, sing her the song. I kid you not, Dave. She just looked at me and said, you know, I have a really hard time kind of knowing whether or not someone sounds good, so I can't tell you. And it wasn't until years later I thought, my mom was full of shit. She knew exactly that I didn't sound good, but she didn't want to tell me that. She wanted to still let me go out there and have my little dream of singing on stage. And that's what I did, and I was terrible. And that's probably the last time I sang in front of a group was that talent show.
See, this is the pain that I'm talking about. Yo punk ass spent so much time, worrying about that. Look, you could have grown. Look, have you ever heard Rihanna's talent show tape? It's horrible. She sang Mariah Carey's Hero. It's horrible. Cassie Ventura has made a career off of singing one song and being Diddy's girlfriend. She's horrible without that auto-tune. See, auto-tune has changed the game because all you got to do is be cute.
Well, back in the day, it wasn't auto-tune, though. Back in the day, it was...
No, back in the day, you had to sing.
Houston, exactly. And that's where I fell short. I just couldn't do the singing part. That's what it was.
Right. I'm just saying, but right now, like, you act like you old. You can still go for it. You can get in the studio. You can get in the studio. It's room. Look, if Cardi B...
Shout out to the Bronx, Cardi B.
I love Cardi B. I root for Cardi B. I don't root for the colorism conspiracy that they're trying to do with people like Cardi B and Bruno Mars, but I root for Cardi B because I fucking love her.
Yeah, me too. You got to root for her.
I just feel like, and what really pisses me off is when you're Dominican and you're trying to explain to people, I'm Dominican, that means I'm black. Like, don't come at me like I'm not fucking black. You know what I'm saying? And don't use my complexion to try and fuck up other people because you're trying to push an agenda. That shit is so fucked to me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like Cardi is being victimized by something other than the fact that she has passion. And I think that that's some horse shit. And by the fucking way, Say what you want about Cardi B, but in 2 seasons of Love and Hip Hop, she did what Jocelyn Hernandez couldn't do in 7. The fucking end.
You're right. There's nothing else to say. Drop the mic on that one.
Make hits, bitch. Like, I don't care what and that's my stance on anything. That's why and this is why people don't like me, because I'm not gonna let you wallow in your bullshit, because I'm like, make a hit.
Yeah.
If you're dope, go be dope.
Mm-hmm.
The end. Somebody told me the other day, I was in Chicago at a radio station, and they said, well, how do we overcome this and how do we overcome that? I'm like, listen, I'm gonna tell you what I used to tell people before I retired. You want to win? You want to win in the ratings? Be fucking compelling. And they say, well, the consultants say that you shouldn't be on for this amount of time and this, that, and this. So, well, the consultants are full of shit. And they're like, well, how do you figure? I said, I'll prove it to you. I said, Avengers Infinity Wars, 2 hours and 36 fucking minutes, not counting previews.
Mm-hmm.
And motherfuckers have seen it. I've seen this shit in the theater 4 times.
Right. Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying? If it's compelling, people will watch, listen, taste, touch, feel, whatever. If you suck, you just suck. So don't suck, be dope, be compelling. The end. It's not fucking hard.
I 100% agree. So I listen to the Joe Budden podcast every week. And Joe Budden's podcast can be, I think last week might have been 2 hours and 40 minutes long. That's a long ass podcast. But did I listen to it? Absolutely. Because I'm invested. I've listened to the beginning. And even if I have to break it up in half, but I will listen to the entire podcast. So to your point, if you create compelling content, people will be there for it.
Yeah, I fuck with Joe Budden real hard. I do. Primarily because he shit on Amigos. That was phenomenal. And honorable mention goes to Pump It Up. I know he hates that song, but that shit's... you put Pump It Up in this shit, you ain't never seen so much fat fly in your life.
It's so true. I don't know why he shies away from it. It still knocks to this day. And
because it's commercial, and he felt like lyrically he could have done more. I think he always wanted to have the same kind of respect lyrically that JayZ had. You know what I'm saying? Because people can't necessarily they'll say, yeah, I heard this freestyle Joe Budden did and it was dope, but you can't point to any single and be like, yo, this Joe Budden song is iconic, other than pump, 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 pump. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, if that's not your shit, but Russell forced you to do this shit, you know what I mean?
I think for him it probably is a little triggering, because you can't really hear that song without thinking about JayZ's ether of him either. Yeah. On his own beat, because JayZ, he really got him on that one. He did.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why JayZ's damn near 50 and can still out rap motherfuckers, because evolution and creativity will always win. This mumble rap shit, I'll be so happy when mumble rap dies.
I do think that there's a place for all of it, though. Yeah.
It's a place for all of it. My whole issue is there's an overabundance, and as a black man, as a blackity black man, I fucking hate Black Youngster. Like, if I see Black Youngster, it's on sight. Like, it's just, yeah, I did think he got twerk. That did the big man did twerk. And then, he literally, I got a video on my Instagram. It's like, you can tell he's in the sunken place. Like, somebody operated on his brain. Because he's like, I don't know where I am, but I thank God that Jesus, he up there. He starts spinning around. He starts dancing in the middle of the sidewalk. Like, I'm just like, dude, like, you setting black people back, like all black people, all of us, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, Americans, all of us are being set back collectively because you exist. And I feel like if I had that Thanos fucking gauntlet right now, I'd snap my fucking finger and pray that he was one of the half that went. I'm just saying, spoiler alert.
But how mad would you be if he wasn't one of them?
I'd kill myself. I would literally kill myself.
Just hand the glove to someone else.
Just do snap one more time. Take me out, nigga. Just something, because Black Youngster is the worst of us. And it's not none of us making the decisions as to who gets signed.
Of course, yeah. It's never been that way. Yeah. Ever.
Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? But God, he's bad. Like, at least you say what you want about Designer, but Panda go hard in the motherfucker. I don't know what he says past, yeah, I mean, I got broads in Atlanta. I don't fucking know. All I know,
credit cards are scammers. That's the next one. Yep.
See, there you go. Yeah, I mean, even that Timmy Turner shit go hard. That shit, fucking OT Genesis and Young Dolphin shit, that Cut It shit. Man, listen. Look, I love the trap, but my whole thing is you can have trap music and be intelligent. Look at T.I., but then again, he's the father of trap music, so what you want to do? What do you really want out of life that you haven't had yet? I know, right?
I want freedom, right? So speaking of hip hop, so JayZ raps maybe like the only line I really like, and I got the keys. But he says, till you're on your own, you can't be free. And I really believe that's so true. You have to, for me, this is just for me. Everyone else will have a different definition of success and what that means for them. But for me, it's the freedom to make my own schedule, to move in the way that feels best for me, to have the time to spend with the people that I value, to go see the places I want to visit. That's what it means for me. It doesn't mean I don't want to work hard. It just means I want to work hard on the schedule and the hours that I set for myself. And that's where I'm trying to get to.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, as an entrepreneur, you'll work harder than you've worked in your damn life. I don't know who keeps telling people that this shit ain't hard work. Oh, I know who tells them. Never mind. Ty Lopez. Anyway, no, man, like it's so demanding. And I think that that's important that people understand. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a lot when you're depending on you and there's no magical system to handle everything. That's when you're worth your nuts.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
You know what I mean? And that's it.
My thing is, I wake up early every morning. So, for example, today I woke up at 4:15. I don't set an alarm. I wake up when I wake up. And I don't mind doing that. So I can grind for 6 hours. But then when it hits 10 o'clock, maybe I want to go out and like have a breakfast. Or maybe I want to take a nap. Or maybe I want to go work out. And then I'll come back and do another 6 hours. So again, I think people think of it as you're not willing to work hard. It's like I'm willing to work harder than I do for any company. But I just want to be able to make my own schedule and be able to have those pockets of time for myself throughout the day. And that, to me, that's what freedom is. Mm-hmm.
So let me ask you this. What do you think's keeping you from the freedom you want so bad?
Right now, it's just time. So it's just a matter of time until I get to that place, but it's on the horizon. So it's not a pie in the sky dream anymore. Every day is taking steps towards that place. It's just, you can't pull the ripcord if you don't have the parachute on your back, right? And so at that point, it's just making sure my parachute is secure. So when I do pull that ripcord, I land safely.
Now, I know that there are times when you get frustrated or upset. What's the most frustrating thing that's going on in your life right now?
Things just not moving fast enough. So I'm a naturally impatient person. And so I shared before that it took me a long time to kind of get to this place to figure out what I wanted to do. So once you arrive at the place of knowing what it is you want to do, you want to get there. But you have to also keep yourself in check. You have to keep your expectations in check. You have to just be realistic about what it is you're trying to get to and how long those things are going to take. There's no such thing as an overnight success. Behind every overnight success story are years of preparation in the making. And so right now, this is my season in which I'm preparing. So that's probably the most frustrated I am when things just don't move faster.
Hell yeah, because I'm gonna tell you right now, I've been at this since 1987. This shit ain't no easy thing. People are like, you came out of nowhere, bitch. No, the fuck I didn't. I came out of a slum. That's somewhere, but I've been at this for a long ass. I've been at this since Reagan had black hair. So, yeah, I mean, like, I gave my childhood for this shit, bitch. We're not doing that. Mm-hmm. So how do you want people to reach out to you? How can people get more of you? Like, give people the info.
Sure. So you can hit up my show, of course, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that good stuff. It's called You Wanna Do What, releases every Wednesday. It's a mix between solo shows and interviews, and I guarantee you it's going to be the nudge you need to try something new. People say that I'm like the best friend that they don't have, so that's dope. If I can be your best friend or you're looking for a new one, listen to the show. And if you want to check me out, hit me up on any Instagram, Facebook, You Wanna Do What. And on Twitter, it's You Wanna Do What 1, because someone beat me to the handle, so I got to suffer with the 1, but that's cool. I prefer to think of it as I'm number 1, therefore that's why the 1 is there. But reach out to me. Let's connect. Let's have a conversation. I love to hear from people. If you have an idea, let me know what it is, and if I can help you to get there, I'm happy to do it.
Word. Monica Rivera, this has been enlightening and all over the place and absolutely enjoyable. So I appreciate you coming on the show. I really do.
Thanks for having me, Dave. I appreciate it.
Want more exclusive content and business development advice? Log on to facebook.com/thebusinessbully.